Yo, what's up, guys? So, if this looks familiar, for those of you who know this, that's because this is the lobby for UNPA CB. If you guys know, that was a mini game I made that was based off of the Roblox game R Breach. This is now a new variant based off the game SCP-RP on Roblox. So, I spent the past 2 months or so making this, and now it's in a playable state. I still got stuff I gotta do for more updates in the future, but I just thought I'd showcase what's present right now. So you see the sign right here, you can do /select. You also can do /skin tone. So you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can swap your skin tone. I have my other account here. You can see on the other, it should be on the bottom left of my screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what this is like, to see if you're interested, in joining. I'd like to get some people in here, but keep in mind this does take about 2 people to play, actually, like legitimately. And the more the better, just because this is a multiplayer game, we're engaging with other people. But as you can see, we got different classes here. So we got Assault Leads, Division E's, Guards, MS, Chaos, and Tandara, Experimenters, Draconics, and then you can come back to the lobby with none. So normally MMS and Assault Leads are going to be locked, but if you join now, since there is no way to unlock them, I'm going to have it through an advancement system, which if, go to advancements, you see here, we got Division E ones in, but that's only it right now, so I got to add the other ones. I'm working on Guard for the time being, but I still have ways to go, so like I said, there's stuff I got to update. Anyways, you can see, so for right now, you just get those 2 automatically, and Chaos, Tandara, and Draconics are currently not in the game. These guys fall under the UNPF, so I'll finish them first. Chaos actually has almost everything finished. Tandara are like an elite unit that'll be hard to get. And Draconics are their own faction that I'm going to have to add in, so I'm not too worried about them for the time being. I'm going to focus on the primary 2 factions, which should be UNPA and ACE. So let's go ahead and spawn in. So you notice, if you spawn here in the Division E cells, you can spawn in any of these cells, except for these ones on the ends. As a Division E, you can come over here and spend your credits, which you get passively or from completing quests or escapes and stuff. You can buy some weapons, just like that. You can see we got our things. Oh, this one's got bugged. Okay, I'll have to fix that. I thought I fixed all of them, but yeah, I re-imported this one because I was changing a texture thing on it and it must have got it bugged. But I'll show you the other ones that are actually working. So you can see you can run around, just chilling about. As a Division E, there's a couple of ways that you can go about escaping. One of them is through, I believe, the men's room here. Yeah, this you can take a tunnel system to get into light containment zone. And then if you have a level 3, well, no, actually that wouldn't work, but there's another way. I low-key don't even remember what I set up, to be entirely honest. But of course you can go through the front doors themselves. Over here in this cell, have Tyrell. They have the same skin for right now. I gotta make Esnor. The Esnor is the right skin. Tyrell is a different that I forgot. I was just like trying to get a placeholder in, so you can go ahead and buy keycards. You notice I'm trespassing once I'm here, which means I can be shot. Similarly, if I shoot a gun, I lose immunity, and at that point I can be killed. So you can just come to the facility here. See, there's tons of different stuff to check out. I'll go ahead and showcase some of the things. Don't mind that music in the background. We're here. This is a guard controlling station, so they can close this. So you can be shot through these bars, and this is for opening up the left side gate. So people make a request. If you want to sit that position, they can open this up now. If I hit this again, you notice this is now closed. Most of the doors, though, aren't going to be like that. That's like the only one because it connects to Division E, so I figured there might be a lot of people there. So anyways, you can come through here. Division E's also connects straight to here for experimenting and perfect timing. You can come under here. So you got this section for Division E's, which, by the way, when I say Division E's, they're basically Class D's. They're the equivalent. So we can take a seat. And this takes us from LCZ to another part of LCZ, and then it connects to Heavy. So this is how you're supposed to get to Heavy, but there's 2 different positions. You see here. I'll get back to LCZ. I'll take us to Heavy first, because Heavy's pretty small. It's like one of the smaller areas. And I got my other count. The reason I have my other count there in the corner is to show you some things that generally can't be seen on what do you call it? Just one account. So like I said, this is a team game. You're not meant to play alone. I mean, you can play on your team alone, but you at least need someone else to play with or against. This brings us to decontamination. Don't worry, you can't soft lock yourself. I can actually demonstrate. I'll go back through. If you decide you want to try to stay in here, you can't. It'll just teleport you out. So I thought of some small things like that. For example, the barriers, so you can't just jump into there. You see, this is that side of heavy. This is the Dendara, which needs a level 5 because they're the only ones that pretty much have that. See, we got some decor around here. You can't open stuff just so that you can't store things. That didn't really make that much sense. And then we have the chaos, or this is MMS rooms, I believe. I don't think I have the chaos room fully developed yet. Just because, like I said, they still aren't in the game fully yet. But as you can see, you can come through heavy and start exploring some of the UNPAs. Heavy, you generally need level 4 clearance to get through. So level 3 is generally not going to be enough, but as you can see, some of the doors will work on 3. But once you are getting to containment cells, you're going to get locked out. So, for example, here is one of our UNPAs. So this is the Headless Horseman. If I go in there, I will die. But as a Division E or an Assault Lead, you can try to breach these guys. That's part of, like, you know, your questing to do. And temporarily, I just made this opening, like maintenance, whatever, just try to make it make sense. Because he can't fit through these doors. His hitbox is too big. He's the only one that has that problem, though. For example, we have another one here, which is the Wolf. He can fit through, so I didn't have to do any workarounds. Like I said, the only problem is Headless Horseman. These are future sections for any and more living UNPAs. Those are the only 2 cells out there. These are dimensional ones. We actually already have one made called Parallel, but I haven't fully implemented the housing side of its dimension, so I decided to just temporarily close that down. Over here, we got objects and items, and then biohazards from whatever those are added in the future. And here we got the Saber Necklace. And then you got some lore stuff, and yeah, I got some more decor around the map. I try to make it pretty nice. I really want to have a builder with me, because I'm spending so much time on the coding part that it's like I don't have a lot of time to make it really nice. But you can see that's pretty much heavy over there. You can see some of my schematics and stuff that I have. I suppose if we keep hearing Jaleel, I should bring us to Jaleel. Y'all remember the video I posted of him? That's what it was for. This is Jaleel. He's one of the UNPAs. Yeah, more that I won't show all of them, so you know if you don't want to get spoiled for everything. But they all have interactable purposes. For example, the granite rock, you can breach that, and some of them have benefits. For example, let's go to gravity canisters. Should be over here somewhere. Yeah, these ones, if you equip them, you can start lowering or increasing your gravity. Over here we got Brad in the chill section, LCZ, break room and stuff. So this is for staff, for example. He won't sell to me. Well, I guess because I'm in creative, he will. But if you're in adventure mode, he won't sell. But they got better guns in here. I mean, just look at that. That's beautiful, right? As we continue through the hallways, you'll see it's pretty linear. I tried to make it pretty straightforward. We have the men's room where you can see under maintenance this connects to the other area, so Division E's can go through there. Some of the rooms don't have things. As I continue to make more UNPAs, they'll get updated. You got a temporary guard room over here, which had cameras that were functioning before, but I had to downgrade security craft because it was crashing the server when you died. So this is a point of connection for getting to entrance zone. You can't go through this way. It's supposed to be a one-way. And here's the guard armory. This is where guards actually spawn. I started getting lazy at this point. I made this a little later. To get to entrance zone, you're going to need level 4. Otherwise, to get to there, for example, experiments are spawning here, and they only have a level 3. So that's when you would go through here. You see, it lets me in because I'm the owner as well. But if you weren't on, it basically lets anyone that's on the UNPA's team in. But if you aren't, then it won't work. So it's pretty cool. You got a ton of different rooms here. Probably experimenters that you can spawn in. Got the locker room just for decor and stuff. Here's guard access only. So this is a visitor or only like allowed thing. So you can have other teams come through the helipad, which I'm going to add into the future, and then this is the only way for it to be opened. There's a doorbell button over there if you saw. It will send a message to any guards or MTF, or MMS I should say. So we got some cool stuff over here, just for the guard rooms. This is the helipad, and I escaped, so I guess let me go as a guard so that I don't do that on accident. Yeah, spawn over here in the guard room. You spawn different stuff. You got the radio here, so whenever you talk, you only talk in the 20 block radius each way. So it's a very small radius to do proximity chat. But then of course you can go on radio, say whatever you want, and it'll do that there, as opposed to just the normal chat here. I'm probably going to add a thing that indicates it's a radio in the future as well. So if you're not high enough clearance, please use a retinal, because this is going to take a level, I believe, 4. So do this, get a temporary level 4 card. There's one use, so it only work for the one time. This is the entrance where you see the helipad. It's supposed to be an underground facility. Otherwise, you can come through here. This works on proximity, and then you gotta wait for a guard. For example, if I did this. As you can see, as a guard, I get extra stuff that I'm seeing, like this stuff here. So if I go ahead and just go to spectator mode. The reason that I have this set up is so that because these can get tossed around the map. They're definitely not going to stay in their cells. People are going to start interacting with them, and it's going to be hard for guard to find them if they're just somewhere randomly on the map for recontainment. Oops, let's not get close to the pillow. So I set it up so that they can see these like indicators to know where items are through walls, not actual entities, since those auto respawn their cells and are generally easier to find because people just can hold on to them or toss them anywhere. So you see that basically is most of the entire map. That's entrance, coming over to here to Division E cells, and then the connection to heavy. I see there's another thing up top here that I'll get to in a second. So, you know, as a guard, you're probably going to spend most of your time here, but I'm trying to encourage it so that people are actually interacting with UNPAs rather than just camping in this area. Anyways, let's go ahead and select on the other screen of Division E to kind of show how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a gun. As you can see, this guy's, if I go into F5 here, his armor actually works. I just messed up in Division E. That's a bug. I just, obviously I would have fixed it before the recording if I knew, but you can see I can't normally shoot a Division. That's to make sure that they're just not getting abused because they're the ones that can be abused. The second I cross the line, you'll notice a trespassing thing pops above the head. This means that this guy can now be shot. Go back, I'm good. If I shoot my gun, we'll see hostile appears. And obviously, trespassing and hostile can work as well together. Once they're hostile, it doesn't matter where you are, you can be shot. I wanted to make it so that if you hold the gun, it makes you hostile. But, I mean, I could probably do that as well, but this just worked out easier for me. I could always change in the future. So you can see they got the red line, they gotta stay behind, but they're allowed to go to the cafeteria where they can go through the bathrooms and stuff. So there's another way for them to get out that's not... I'm pretty sure it's just through the guard room or the cafeteria. You just come through here and then through here. I'm planning to make a couple more ways, maybe 1 or 2 for them to escape that's more hidden. For example, through a ventilation system, I want to add that in. So that way they have more options than just being hard camped at certain locations. So let me go ahead and go select. We do also, if you use the radio, for example here, let me talk to this guy without it in my hand. You can see on the other screen, it popped up. It doesn't. So radio sticks between only your people. So for example, I'll have guards, MMS, Chaos, and Dundara, and experimenters get the message. So let me go ahead and select Assault League. You can see that's what this area is. They're basically the Chaos Insurgents. They got their little assignment board over there. And I'll show you how Division E's can get here, because Division E's can escape to the front, or they can come to here and become a hostile Division E. So you can see the Division E containment or the heavy connection. So if I come this way, let's go this like to speed this up. I come through the vents, come down here, press this. We can blow our way into here to get quickly to Division E's. And you can't damage people in your own team, so you don't have to worry about friendly fire as a whole. So those guys spawn there is pretty cool. I guess on this guy, I'll show you how they come through here. So once you've escaped through here, you got to go through LCZ. Over here, you get to the maintenance section. You come through here, come up here, and then you go to Freedom. So once I arrive, congratulations escaping, you receive your credits, and then you get all the stuff that they normally have. Alongside getting a backpack, which is why the text there, the models are messed up, because I was adding in that backpack model that gets added on. And I guess I messed up the pivots on it during that, which I didn't touch them, but I think it was because I was using the old model and I was revamping it. So you basically get aura. This only lasts for 1 life, so if I die, back here, just as Division E. And that's really MMS spawn and heavy, as we saw over here, so they're just going to be further away. But they're intense, they got really good weapons, they got level 4 keycard access, they can get pretty much anywhere in the facility except for Dendara's room. Same way as Salt leads. Like I said, I'm planning to add in Draconics in the future, which will be their own faction with their own different set of goals. But let's go ahead and go as Experimenter. I don't want to give Experimenters nothing, so you get a Glock, you know, something to work with. You actually can't get through there, but I have commands, so. You'll notice we have an additional thing here in our inventory slot that we spawn with called the Authorizer. Wow. So we got a Division E over here. Right now you can only authorize 1 Division E at a time. For now you can see this dude is authorized. So I come over here and buy a gun. Won't shoot that yet. But when you have them authorized, they're able to go past the line, and I cannot shoot them. However, what happens if I shoot my gun? Immediately becomes hostile, can no longer authorize them. So, once you're authorized, you gotta play it cool, be careful. I'm planning to add metal detectors so that you can, clear Division E's and stuff like that. I don't know why we can see the name tag. Staff, I think it is. Was it invisibility? Never. I forgot to do it for that one because I recently added them in. So the main goal for experimenters is just to have fun, experiment with these dudes, and make money. Because I'm gonna make it so that this is the best way to make money. Because that will actually encourage people to run experiments, which. When I see an SCPRP, like, a ton of people never do experiments or shit like that, and I kind of want to fix upon some things that I find is, like, annoying in that game. For example, Division E is having pretty much no routes to getting out, so I want to give them a little more options, while still try to be balanced and fun for everyone. So, if you guys are interested in the project, you can see it's still got a ways to go, but it is in a playable state. You can play with other people, like I said, it is a role-playing game at the end of the day, so use your imagination. I'm planning to add more stuff, and I'd love to have you guys here, or to just find any bugs, give me any suggestions to improve it. Like, just play the game, you're like, can you add this? If I think it's a good idea, you know, I'll throw it in. There's a lot for me to still do. I do want to do some more, decor and, updating on the map, because it does feel a little boring right now, but I genuinely have to work on the actual, coding part, because as it is right now, it's just not, not all the way there. I have more stuff I want to add, like I said, even the estate advancements, finishing this, because right now, only Division E's have it. We don't even have all the, what do you call it? The roles in the game yet. I'm definitely going to have Chaos and Dara added probably sometime by this weekend. I want to have them in, at least as playable characters, and then I'll add the ways to get them later on, which will, like I said, will be through advancement. So to unlock MMS, you're going to have to go through Guard first, then it gets Chaos Gek through MMS, and Chaos to Endara. It'll be like a whole series. But once you unlock it, you've unlocked it. And I'm planning to add stuff like game passes that if you like save 500 credits or something and you buy a game pass, you can just, like, for example, spawn with a block every single time or something like that, or spawn with a temporary one use level 4 card. Small stuff like that I think would be fun to spice up the game a little. But I'd like to have people to base it off of, so like I can not make things overpowered or annoying, because I just want it to be a fun environment. So anyways, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna have all the information down below in the description. It'll have the server that you can join, pretty much. That's all the information, because the server itself will link you to where you can go to the Dropbox to download the mods and the server IP. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. I'd love to have you guys here, and have a great rest of your day. That's the wrong thing. That's what I normally use to record, but I have the double screen, so I'm using OBS. Alright, peace out, guys.